Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of November 1st. I'm Catherine Halecko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terry and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So this week, we continued with our 2 half-hour streaming comedies, both of which were not super funny this week. There's one that we're about a half a step behind everyone else, and the other one where it's more like a full step, I would say, and that is Ted Lasso. We are up to episode 7 of season 1. This one was called Make Rebecca Great Again. And it was another week where Ted had some real highs and lows.
It was like there were parts of it where I was laughing out loud, and other parts that just socked you in the gut.
Mm-hmm.
It was both of these episodes, watching them at the same time. Wow.
Yeah.
One had all the feels and the other had all the exposition you could possibly want.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good week from both of these shows. I really loved that Ted Lasso episode. I might have to go watch it again because it just really had so many highs and lows, so many character turns.
I'm surprised because you don't like to see Ted upset and sad.
I don't, and it was awful, but it was also just hilarious sometimes. Nate giving that speech in the locker room, and
but then that was after Nate got trapped in the luggage compartment underneath the bus.
Thank goodness they found him before they left. But big episode for Nate there.
Yes.
And just so many things. I kept just cackling out loud while I was watching it. But then, yes, the constant theme running through of his divorce papers sitting there, which is kind of a trope in entertainment, but his panic attack and just how, even before that, how wrecked he looked when Nate came to his door and he yelled at Nate. And it was very, very painful on that score. And then just really hilarious on others. And, getting more backstory on Rebecca and her being a human being to Ted.
Yes.
A compassionate human being was lovely. So maybe
participating in the team celebration after they won a game.
Very much so. Her friend, who we've never met before, but hello, seems to be doing well for her. And I don't know, do we think she's great again now, or she's just on her way?
Yeah, I don't know about that title. I don't know. I'm not sure what they were really going for there.
Well, but it does seem like, as her friend was saying, this was not the Rebecca that existed before her horrible marriage.
Right.
So we need to get her back to there. And she did sing karaoke, and she did, flirt with the waiter. And she did show kindness to Ted when he needed it. So, perhaps she's on her way back to that original Rebecca and not going to be the terrible, deliberately bad boss that she's been up till now.
Although she did tell Higgins to stay home.
Right.
But then he just got to watch the game with his family and have a great time.
Even that worked out. We didn't see him sitting in his office being frustrated. We saw him home with his family, having a good time. And so it worked out very well for him not to go. Probably he liked it better.
Yeah.
So that was just, and I, the whole thing of Nate being forced to actually read the thing that he wrote for Ted, and tell them each, and then the way that Roy took that, and then channeled that anger, and apparently it worked out very well.
It did work out.
Not so much for the bench that he pulled up and
that he ripped out of the wall.
But I liked that. I mean, Roy is becoming more and more of an interesting character. That he's, he could take the criticism and run with it. So another
because Jamie Tart would not have dealt well with any of that.
Yes, I think I would have worried for Nate's safety had Jamie been there. But the ones who were there were able to what was it? Danny said,
tough but fair.
Tough but fair. So fun. And I mean, it's convenient that they then went out and won, however unlikely, but still, I'll take it. Sure. Yes. And then I was thinking, they won this unlikely victory, and now they are all just walking around Liverpool in small groups. Would not somebody find them and express their displeasure at having lost? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. When Ted, after he had his panic attack and he was outside the karaoke bar and he's like, okay, I'll just walk back to the hotel. I was like, don't do it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Somebody is going to beat the bleep out of him. Yeah. But no, he was fine. No, instead, the sexy new friend stopped by. The sassy new friend. Okay. But interesting episode. Just felt like so packed full of stuff. Good, interesting, funny stuff.
Yeah.
But, it flew by.
It did.
Yes. So.
And as you
enjoying that
predicted, a little something starting between Keeley and Roy.
Yes. He's playing it cool.
Yes, very cool. Love it.
But man, he looked good standing under that kind of reddish light waiting for her.
Yes, outside the karaoke bar.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody was getting partnered up.
Yes.
Oh, and we didn't mention the team movie night where they were.
What movie was that?
I believe it's The Iron Giant.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was something I should recognize, but I did not.
And the one scolds the other one for being on his phone during the movie.
Right. It's fun getting to know all the other little players, even though we don't always remember their names, but still, they're fun.
Exactly.
Not so fun, but completely fascinating was Only Murders in the Building. Wow.
Yeah.
That was quite an episode.
This was a definite departure. Because the whole episode was basically no dialogue.
Yeah.
It was sign language and texts.
Yes. And Scrabble tiles.
Yes. And just visual, what people could see. And so we, as you said, a lot of exposition, a lot of backstory about Teddy Demas, and that's played by Nathan Lane, and his son Theo,
played by James Caverly. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but a deaf actor who has, it looks to me like more stage credits than screen credits at this point, but he was fantastic.
Yeah.
So interesting that the episode that has had the most exposition so far had no dialogue.
Yeah.
Really excellent work there were subtitles, so it wasn't completely without words, but really, really nice choreographing the sharing of information in so many creative ways.
Yeah, they just really came up with many different ways to do it.
Also possibly the first Scrabble seduction scene ever put on film. That was extremely clever.
Yes.
But nicely done. And we learned so much. And despite our thinking that Nathan Lane being the bad guy was another red herring, I don't know if he killed Tim Kono, but he definitely ain't a good guy.
Yeah. But, this is one of those, we still have 3 more episodes. So
correct. So there's got to be more to
the
it.
Answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's
been doing some shady stuff. He doesn't just make hummus.
No, he does not. He robs graves and threatens people to get them not to testify to things, and also is sort of smothering to his son. Well, not sort of.
His grown son,
Yes.
Kid's like 30 years old, probably.
Right. That scene of when he was a little boy was
that was so painful.
Quite powerful. And while certainly, I have some sympathies to the wish that you could, fix your child who has a disability that you feel limits their life. Wow. Even just imposing that carousel soliloquy on a hearing kid would have been rough.
Yes. My boy Bill. That's
man.
a rough one. And of course, he is Theo named after his dad.
Yes.
It's Teddy and
Yes.
Theo. So that's
Right.
That's the same name.
Yeah.
Just like Bill.
I would say, gee, we have a character being introduced here in episode 7 who is the key to everything, but he was in some earlier episodes, but just sort of in the background. So now you go back and you say, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, last week, I think he was his father just mentioned him in passing. And then he was somewhere in the first episode.
Yeah. They, when I watched it, they did show earlier on Only Murders in the Building, and they showed that scene where he just was in the apartment,
yeah. And then, so, so he's been around. We just haven't noticed him, which is sort of the point.
Right.
And really, really powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And ends with 2 of our 3 podcasters in dire straits.
Yes.
And one of them having had a very good evening. But, I wonder where that's going to go. But we found out quite a lot of things in addition to what Teddy does to make money, and that we found the person who is involved with the jewel dealing but now Tim was investigating that.
Mm-hmm.
Tim knows obviously that Teddy is a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
What we see in the show is that Theo had sort of a flirty relationship with Zoe in that, definitely she was flirting with him. And then there's some sort of suggestion that maybe they were getting together.
Yeah.
Even while she was,
with
Oscar. And how she felt about that. Sort of, she seems awful, but she also seems pretty broken in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, Oscar left before she fell off the building. She had this conversation with Theo, and then there was a tussle.
Right.
It doesn't seem like he specifically pushed her. It just seems like they were, having a little altercation, and she lost her balance and fell.
Right.
So it wasn't as though he specifically killed her, but he was there and he was involved, and Tim Kono saw it.
Right.
And Teddy found out what was going on and told Tim, made it clear to Tim that he would probably kill him and kill Mabel if he said anything.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know why Tim never stood up for Oscar.
Right.
And so Tim knows, is he trying to investigate this jewelry thing to bring Teddy down?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess he didn't know he would have known there was jewelry in the apartment because the kids found it and were playing with it. And I don't know if that's how Zoe got the ring or if Theo gave Zoe the ring. It kind of sounded like maybe he gave her the ring.
No, I think she took it.
Okay. And then he had to ask
one
for
of
it
their,
back. Okay.
Right. She took it when they were snooping around in the
Mm-hmm.
apartment. And she saw that he saw that they were in there. That
was quite a little scene there.
Yeah.
Good acting by the actress who plays Zoe.
Yeah. And then Teddy spotted the ring on Zoe's finger and it's like, okay, well, you better get that back.
Has her do ASL just specifically so he can make sure.
Right.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So, he's tells Theo that he has to get it back.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think he assumed that Theo gave it to her.
Right. So Tim presumably is trying to figure out, is trying to implicate Teddy in the jewelry thefts he's doing, to bring him down. But this being episode 7 of 10, we can be pretty sure that Teddy isn't the one who killed Tim Kono. And I assume Theo is not either.
Right.
So, because we have watched
television before in our lives.
It's like the suspect they find at the half-hour mark of the 1-hour detective drama is never the person.
Never the one. That's right.
The person in the Agatha Christie novel at about page 45, also not the person. So it's too soon.
That's right.
But certainly Teddy is not a good dude.
Yes. But it is fun to watch Nathan Lane and his terrible mustache.
you sort of felt like, boy, Nathan Lane's just picking up a paycheck for this thing. He's just going to show up now and then. I guess they're, just using whatever New York actors happen to be around. Right. But wow, he actually has a part. Good for him. Mm-hmm. It's not like Martin Short's part in Schmigadoon, where he popped up one time and had his name in the credits for the entire thing.
That was like 10 seconds. Wow.
Yes. No, Nathan Lane actually has him a role. Good for you, man. Mm-hmm. And doing very well with it, because he seemed perfectly harmless up until now.
Right.
It's very, very interesting the way, and the way they used the deafness to change the way they do the exposition was really interesting.
Although I did struggle to believe that Theo was so good at reading lips.
He could do it with binoculars through a window.
With binoculars through the window across
He's been practicing for a long time.
And they all just happened to turn and face the window when they were speaking. Okay. But still.
Yeah, that was pushing it a little bit. The other thing that was hard about this episode for me was it's not a good episode to have to watch on a computer screen that is not clean if there is any sun in the room at all. Because I couldn't see I had to change computers and go to a different part of the room, change to a cleaner screen, a different part of the room, and shade it with my hands to be able to see all these subtitles. You need to be able to see
everything. Yeah. Not just the subtitles and the text messages. And the Scrabble board, everything.
Right. And then the thing at the bottom that shows how much time is left kept popping up and I couldn't get rid of it. It was right over the subtitles. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, no, stop. I had to keep rewinding. Yeah. So it was difficult on that scale, but worth the trouble of rewinding and watching again, because very, very good acting and very, very interesting ways to, demonstrate things.
Yeah.
Nicely done show. Mm-hmm. And so very happy that they had a deaf actor playing a deaf character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, which is the way it should be.
The way it should be.
So we leave Oliver and Mabel tied up in the back of Theo's van, driving to who knows where.
Driving somewhere. And Steve Martin having unlocked Tim Kona's
Yes. So
a few steps forward, a few steps.
Dun, dun, dun. What will happen next?
Yes, next week the episode is called Fan Fiction. And on Ted Lasso, it is called The Diamond Dogs.
Alrighty.
Those are both the 8th episode of the first season. Yes. And that's going to be it for round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.